Welcome to the Council of Trolls, everybody. I'm your host today, Vinny the Villain, and what we're going to talk about is some Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, the last time I actually went on a Kingdom Hearts game, I was 14 years old. 13 years ago, I played Kingdom Hearts 2, and I hadn't really touched any of the smaller versions that they had in between, you know, Chain of Memories, 358 out of 2 days, you name it, I didn't touch it. Got into Birth by Sleep a little bit there, but Kingdom Hearts 2 was really the last one I actually had gone in on. So as you can imagine, 13 years of waiting on a game, the hype can die down just a little bit. And I really wanted to go in on how recently that has changed for me. Now, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the end of an era is the way to think of it, because you had games like Final Fantasy 15 and The Last Guardian, which both of those games were games that took nearly a decade to develop. And Kingdom Hearts 3, of course, is an actual longer developed game, is one of those last ones of that type of an era. So we finally get to see what this game is going to be about, and I can't be more excited than I have been in a long time. After they dropped Kingdom Hearts 2, you know, the beginning of it really had thrown me off because I didn't play in the intermediate ones. And as they announced Kingdom Hearts 3 and were releasing trailers for it, I was excited for it, but there was a part of me that didn't really know what was going on. It's no secret that the story is pretty twisted and convoluted, and you really have to get your hands in all of the different types of games that they have out. For me, this was a handicap because I had only gone in on the first one and the second one. So when I see the new trailers that they drop and I see this character and that character, I have no idea what is going on. But recently the game has taken on a new sort of like spotlight for me, a new sort of a new life to it because of revisiting the older games. I was taking some time playing the remasters that they have of the first one and the second one, and really connecting with, you know, that experience that I had as a kid. So Kingdom Hearts has a very nostalgic pull to it. And that can be a very good thing and a very bad thing. When you mess with people's nostalgia, they have very high expectations for stuff. There's a reason why that specific thing is nostalgic to them. And if you mess it up and drop the ball in any kind of way, they will murder you for it. I mean, we can't not take the example of The Last Guardian and Final Fantasy 15. Those games took a decade to release, and they didn't score badly. You know, they scored in the lower part of the 80s of a Metacritic, which is a really good Metacritic to have. But when you consider the amount of hype behind these games, you would have expected something closer to a 90, if not exceeding a 90. So it's really good to see that Kingdom Hearts 3 is scoring as high as it is. Historically, the mainline Kingdom Hearts games, Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, they scored in the high 80s as well. So to see Kingdom Hearts 3, I believe, sitting currently at about like an 88 and 89 is a very positive and promising thing. Now, maybe if the game had released 5 years ago in this state, it might have exceeded a 90. Because I would have to really assume that some things as far as, you know, game mechanics might have been held up a little bit. When you put a lot of time into a game, you put a lot of time into those mechanics as well. So to make sure that you're updating those mechanics as the industry is updating can be a hard thing to have harmony between. Kingdom Hearts has always kind of had that, you know, kind of, you know, similar kind of a gameplay in it. So it might not have been that hard of a thing to maintain and upkeep over, you know, these past 10 plus years. But still, it's a pretty reasonable thing to be concerned about, all things considering. Once I began to connect the dots in that trailer, I began to feel the nostalgia coming over me. The piano at the beginning of the trailer sounding like Simple and Clean. Oh my God, when those pianos came on and it sounded like Simple and Clean, I just wanted to lose it so bad. Simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel so right. It's hard to let you go. Seeing what our characters have gone through to get to this point in their story. And once again, I began to realize how and why Kingdom Hearts had such a special place in my heart. I remember as a kid getting Kingdom Hearts for the first time. That was the very first game that I got with my PlayStation 2. In fact, this book right here, this manual you see right here, I got with my first PlayStation 2, with my first copy of the game. One of the biggest regrets I have as a child never found all the Dalmatians. I'm so sorry. All those poor puppy Dalmatians surrounded by Heartless in a box. I don't deserve to live. Some of my favorite gaming moments are from the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Kingdom Hearts is one of my most favorite franchises out there. I would say it's really only in competition with God of War for me. Encountering those bosses for the first time in the first Kingdom Hearts was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Having to fight Ursula, Jafar, Oogie Boogie, Cerberus, you name them, they were in that game. Taking them from a Disney movie and putting them in this whole sort of weird universe, this combination universe with the Square Enix games of Final Fantasy, what an odd way to take things. My expectations for the third one is I really hope they don't allow things to get out of control with the story, more than they already have. Keep it tempered, keep it tailored. Don't get too out there with the science of the hearts. We don't even know much about these hearts. You have a lot of heart science going on here. This is almost an Inception level type of fantasy science that it's just so difficult to understand, and the games really don't take time, if you ask me, to really explain how that works. So keep it tailored and keep it solid and bring conclusions to everything. So keep the plot focused and make sure that you're beginning to tie loose ends and give explanations for what's been going on and why things have been going on. It looks like we're going to have pretty much every character in every Kingdom Hearts game that's ever been in this one, so they need to be careful with how they're juggling all these different characters and how they're developing their plot lines among one another. Needless to say, in the days leading up to the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, I've been going in on Kingdom Hearts, getting warmed up for it, getting excited, refreshing my mind on exactly what's going on. And I just can't believe it's here. 13 years down the road, and we're finally here to where Kingdom Hearts is only 24 hours away. I've done my very best to avoid any YouTube videos on it. The trailers have given me enough to see to know that this is the game that I've been waiting for. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I can't wait to get my hands on Kingdom Hearts 3 and share with you my thoughts and feelings on it. Definitely keep an eye out for more content on this, and keep an eye out for more content from the Council of Trolls. We'll see you next time, guys.